Hey, it's good to have you with me because today I'm going to talk with you about what is the market update. What's going on in the market today? Because this is what people ask me every single day. And so I want to give you the update. This is an important time. It's an important time for lots of different reasons, you guys. So let's talk a little bit about that for just a moment. My name is Mark Hulsey. I'm the managing broker of Results Commercial. We're a commercial investment boutique firm licensed from Florida to Chicago, Illinois, and Minnesota, Wisconsin, with offices around the country. So we've got a pretty good handle on what's going on out there in the marketplace. So where are we? We are coming here to the end of winter 2022, entering into spring. An interesting time because we're just about to see interest rates start to bump up throughout this year and going into next year. And of course, we're coming out of a stable 2018, 2019, and then we entered into 2020, 2021. Very interesting times, right? We all know what that means. Many people were thinking back then, what is it going to be like in today's market? My goodness, we must have a lot of office buildings hitting the market and lots of restaurants hitting the market because everybody's going out of business after what we have just gone through here. That's not the case, you guys. It's not the case at all. In fact, commercial investment, there is a distinction there, by the way, is not too far behind the residential side of things. What I mean by that is that we're dealing with inventory issues on the residential side of things, and we are on the commercial investment side too. We don't have enough inventory, right? Sellers have been kind of sitting on the sidelines, waiting to see what's going to happen. We think some of that's going to change. Everything is cyclical, and we think that's going to change. A lot of money in the marketplace. We have a lot of pent-up demand in the marketplace. So from the seller's point of view, my goodness, what a great time. We still have low rates, we've got high demand. We know rates are going to be going up, but we're also faced with some great uncertainty. We all know we're dealing with higher prices at the gas pumps. Groceries are expensive. We're dealing with inflationary times. Inflationary times that go back to when I was a very young man. Things like, are you kidding me? How in the world did we get here again? And that's what we're faced with. Listen, there's a ripple effect on all of this, and that's important that people understand that. This ripple effect. What does it mean when you're paying more at the pump, you're paying more for your groceries? What happens? What happens when businesses are paying more? Can they hire as much? No. Do they start pulling back on their spending? Yes. Do they change the way they're working? Yes. Just like people have been changing the way they're working right now. So let's talk about this. Commercial, land, office, retail, industrial, multifamily. What's going on out there? Industrial's hot. It's hot as it's ever been. So warehouse properties, industrial properties, I don't care if it's for lease or if it's for purchase, industrial properties are hot right now. Multifamily, same deal. Those are our two hottest categories, you guys, are multifamily and industrial. You better know what you're doing when you're playing this game, okay? I don't care if you're selling, I don't care if you're buying, I don't care if you're investing. Can you make bad purchase decisions right now? Absolutely you can. Can people be too hasty? We see it in the residential market all the time with lots of people having buyer regret because they jumped into something they shouldn't have. They were premature, they didn't do the proper amount of due diligence. That's what happens when you're in a seller's market and things can get too hot. Office and retail. There's two of the categories that people are still a little bit like, oh, I want to be careful. But the reality, you guys, is we know what wins in real estate. It's the same thing that's been winning for 100 years and probably 100 years from now, and that's location. I don't care where the location, I don't care what the property is. If the location is an A location, there's market demand for it, and the pricing will follow that demand. So I can't stress that enough. As always, this is most important. What's that mean? Maybe I've got an office with lower occupancy, but it's in a first-rate location. There's great demand for that. Take that same office building with that same occupancy and put it in a C-grade location. It's going to be sitting on the market. Nobody wants to touch with a 10-foot pole. That's the difference here. Office did not fall out like many people thought it would. Excuse me, yes. Companies don't need as much space as they used to. That's true. But suddenly, are they all cutting their spaces by 50% or 75% because everybody's working from home? It's not the case. In fact, now, some of our downtowns are starting to come back to life a little bit with people starting to return to work. And we desperately need this. We certainly need this in our central business districts across the country and all our urban areas. They need to come back to life. They need to get stabilized, is what we need to see happen here. And we're going to start seeing that coming up here in the foreseeable future. Retail. Listen, of course, we've been watching retail since online. Everybody's saying, my goodness, what's going to happen with brick and mortar versus online shopping? Same thing holds true. Yes, online has gone way up, but we still need our retail locations. But what are some people doing? They're shrinking their sizes. That's what's happening in many cases, including restaurants, storefronts. Many people are saying, I don't need the square footage. I don't want to pay for the square footage that I had before. Still strong demand. On the investment side, listen, we work in the net lease space. We work in all investment. It might be an office building, a retail building, multifamily. And we also work in the very high investments, the high-end investments like net lease investments. That's when we're selling an Arby's, a Wendy's, a Walgreens, a Starbucks, those kinds of things. Huge market demand. We're still dealing with a pretty fair amount of cap rate compression. That's when the cap rates, of course, are being pushed down competitively, and because prices are up there. Again, it's all in relation to the quality of the tenant, length of the lease, the type of the income that we're dealing with there. So that's the thing, guys. Listen, is the market going to stay the way it is today? No. We are seller brokers. So we're the folks that represent sellers when they go to market. So I have to give guidance against timing. I did it twice this morning as we're in listing appointments, having to talk about where are we going to be in 6 months? Where might we be in a year? Where might those interest rates be? What if some type of war does break out? What impact is that going to have on commercial real estate values? What are small business, what are big enterprise businesses going to be doing if we're faced with these kinds of choices? So it is very fluid, it is very dynamic, it's actually pretty interesting, but it's also fraught with risk. That's why you need to surround yourself with some really good people. So listen, strong market, a robust market. It's not for the faint of heart. You have to be well capitalized in today's market because of the competition. That I can't stress enough. The same way if you want to go buy a house, you better be ready to buy that house and buy it like right now because you've got a lot of competition out there. So it's an overview. It's very interesting. As 2022 plays out, it's going to be different coming up here in December than where we sit here at late winter, early spring. I hope this is helpful, but listen, I'm here to help you guys. Been at this for a very long time. We want to work with help folks out from the very beginning of their real estate career all the way to the most advanced investor. Results Commercial. ResultsCommercial.com. That's the website. Certainly follow us on social media. I've got a lot of cool videos going to be rolling out here in the next few weeks, next few months. But I hope you'll certainly think about subscribing. In the meantime, it's good to have you with me. Thank you so much.